Let me show you how to make this beautiful flare dress. It's a very simple short flare dress, and I'm going to be walking you through the process of making it in an easy step. So let's get into it. So here I have crepe fabric, and this one is just 2 yards of Ankara fabric. We will not finish the Ankara definitely. Okay, so let's get into it. So the flare will not have lining and it's not going to have a zipper. So the first thing you want to do is just to fold your fabric into two. After which you're going to fold it diagonally like this into four. Okay. After folding it diagonally, you place it on a straight line. Let it be straight here. Measurements I'm going to be working with today, you need the shoulder measurement, the bust circumference measurement, and the length of the gown. So after folding it diagonally, the next thing you want to do is to look for the position where you can see the shoulder measurements divided by 2. So the shoulder is 16 divided by 2, that will be 8 inches. So I'll look for the position where I can see 8 inches here. So here I have 8 inches, and I'm just going to mark it. So the next thing is to measure down the length of the armhole. For the length of the armhole, I'm going to be using 8.5. So this is 8.5. Then on this armhole length, I'm still going to measure the same shoulder measurement divided by 2. So shoulder divided by 2 is 8. So I'll mark the 8 here. So from here, I'll roll it all the way to the top this way. Can you see? Then the next thing you want to do, you come back to the shoulder. You're going to measure 3 inches inward so that you can slant the shoulder. Then you're going to measure 1 inch downward. And then you're going to connect. Then you add your seam allowance of 1/2 inch to that line. Can you see? Then the next thing, you come to the chest line, this place. You measure the bust circumference divided by 4 plus the seam allowance. So the bust circumference is 40 divided by 4. That will be 10. Put the 10. Then your seam allowance. I'm using 1 inch for the seam allowance since it's a free dress. Okay. So the next thing you do is just to finish the armhole. So place your French cuff touching this armhole line and touching the chest line. Get your armhole. Can you see? So this, since the fabric is folded into 4, so that means this is both the front and the back. So next is just to put the front armhole. So you locate the armhole line. Oh, so do you locate the midpoint of the armhole, starting from the shoulder drop, measure downwards. So the mid armhole, from the mid armhole coming by 1/2 inch, you connect it to the shoulder tip and then blend it downwards this way. So this is what we have now. So the next thing is to measure the length of the gown. For the length of the gown, I want it to be 41 inches. So from the guideline, measure 41 inches downward with your seam allowance. I'm using 1 inch as the seam allowance so that it's not too long. So I'll mark it. Then you go back to the tip of the triangle. You measure down to where you have the 41 inch mark. Then you rotate whatever it is that you have. Here now altogether is 51.5. So I'll rotate the 51.5. Then you can connect the points together. So from the chest line, from where your measurement stop, just come down by 3.5 inches. Roll it straight to that point. Then at that point, come in a little bit by 1 inch like this so that we can give it shape. Then connect it this way. Can you see? Then from here we take it all the way down. So can you see the way I've done it? Just to give it shape, you can just go in maybe by half or one, depending on how you want it. But I went in by one. Okay. So can you see the way it is? We are done. So the next thing is just to cut this out. So when you're cutting, you cut the back armhole first. The neckline is a V neckline. So I'm going to measure 3.5. I want the neckline to be 3.5. So measure 3.5. Then for the back neckline, I'm going to make the depth of the back neckline to be 1.5. So I'm going to connect it this way. Then for the front neck depth, I'm going to make that to be 6.5 inches. As I'm cutting, I'll cut the back neck depth first. So if you want it to have pockets, from the top measure down your waistline. Your pocket sits 1 inch below the waistline. So the waistline is, so I'll notch here for the pockets. These ties are good with pockets, so I'll notch it. So that's going to be the pocket position. So the next thing I want to do now is to remove the inner layer. So I'll remove the inner piece so that I can cut the front armhole as well as the front neck. The next thing is just to cut facing for the neck. So for the back neckline, we're going to be using the same fabric to cut the facing, but for the Ankara, but for the front, we're going to be using Ankara to cut the facing. Okay. So when cutting facing, just to trace the neckline as well as the shoulder. Then after which, from the neck point, you're just going to measure for 4 inches or 4.5 inches downward, but 4 inches is good. Measure for 4 inches around the neck. Then you cut it out. That's the facing. So this facing now is for the back. So to cut the facing for the front, you're going to fold the fabric into two. this way. Can you see? Place the front on top of it this way. So, like I said earlier, when you are cutting facing, you trace the neckline and the shoulder. So let's copy that. Can you see? Just like this. Then you measure the depth that you want for the facing. The facing is stopping like around the waistline. The facing is going to stop at 17. So but I will just add like half inch to it. Let's just do 18. Let's just do 18 inches so that it just hangs nicely like this. Okay. So then you can take this off. So from here, I'll just create the V shape. You see. Then I'm going to cut this out. So this is what we have. Can you see? So open up the facing this way. Just use your iron to bend the side inward by half inch or quarter this way. If you like, you can put interfacing, but the reason why I'm not going to put interfacing is because this fabric is lightweight. I don't want this one to be so structured that they are not going to flow together. So I want the Ankara to still be able to flow together with the fabric that we're using it on top. Do you understand? So that's why I am not going to put interfacing inside this facing, okay? So this is the wrong side of the flay. So you're just going to place it right side of the facing will be facing the wrong side of the flay. Then you take to the machine. You're going to stitch here together. You stitch together this way. So I will suggest if you're using crepe, don't put don't put interfacing so that it doesn't obstruct the flow of the crepe. So that it's not going to be too structured. So now let's cut the sleeve. The fabric is folded into four. Then you measure the length. I'm just going to be using the total length that we have here. Here we have exactly 23 inches. So from the top, I'm going to measure the cap height down. I'm using 5 inches for the cap height. Then the width of this fabric on fold, we have 13, exactly 13. So on the cap height line, I'm going to put the armhole length, the same as you use when you were drafting the body. Then the same allowance, okay? Then you get your armhole off. Can you see? Then I'm just going to measure downward 7 inches. 7 inches like this. Then from here I'll rule it straight to that 7 inches point. Then from this 7 inches I'll flay it to the end of the fabric. Can you see? Just like this. Can you see? So now I'm going to come here and I'm going to go up by 2.5 inches and I'll blend it this way so that we can put elastic and have like a puff around the sleeve hem. So this is the sleeve. We are going to hem the lower part of the sleeve and put elastic inside it. This is what you have. You're going to hem the lower part. hem the lower part like this, and then you put your elastic inside. So I'm starting by hemming the down part of the back facing. Just fold it once, about 1/4 inch, and make your stitch all around the facing. So you're going to place it right side to right side. Then you notch. Then you turn it to the wrong side and iron it. The next thing, you bring the front. We already pinned the front the way we want the facing to face. The facing to face. Okay, sewing with 1/2 inch. When you get to the middle of the V, keep the needle in. Rotate the fabric and sew to the other side. So you notch to the center of the V, then you flip the fabric to the good side. This way and top stitch, but I need to go and iron and put any gum so that it just stays right in place. So you just turn it to the good side. Thank you. Turn it to the good side, and then you iron and put hemming gum so that it stays in place. That way it's going to be easy for you to sew. Okay. This is what we have. So you go to the machine now, you top stitch the edges down. Next thing now is just to join the shoulders together. So match front and back together, right side facing right side, and then you join it together at the shoulder. So place it the way I'm doing here. Then use the facing of the back to wrap around the front shoulder this way so that you can join the shoulder nicely without the seams showing. Next thing now is just to hem the lower part of the sleeve so that we can attach the so that we can fix the elastic. Next, you're going to be attaching the sleeve to the armhole. So open up the bodice like this, then match the notion on the sleeve together with the shoulder seam. And from that point, you're going to stitch to the right and to the left with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Next, you're going to be closing the side with 1 inch allowance. And after that, you're going to hem the down parts. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please kindly take a moment to subscribe. And I want to say a very big thank you to my channel supporters. Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you. You are sweet. And that will be the end of the tutorial for today. If you have found this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button and also share. If you have any question, feel free to leave it in the comment section. I will always reply you. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.